This is a 2026 GMC Canyon Denali, and this trim did see the highest price increase for this model year. I borrowed this truck from Jerry Seiner, GMC, here in South Jordan, Utah. Be sure to ask for Frank. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see all the options and features on this build. At the very top is the description with the colors. And then here's a short listing of the standard features. Be sure to pause to see more. Base price comes in at $53,000 even. And the only options is the sunroof and Onyx Black for $495. Destination comes in at $2,095 with a total price of $56,590. And then here are the Feely comment numbers off to the side. The 2025 Canyon Denali started at $52,000. So this truck went up by $1,000, not including the destination charge, which went up by $500 for 2026. So effectively $1,500 more for a Canyon Denali, guys, with no noticeable updates on this truck. Now again, you guys saw on the standard equipment all the features, and that was just a partial listing. So 2-inch lift, wide body comes standard, premium lighting, so you have LED headlights, turn signals, and fog lights. Also 360 camera, so you do have that camera on the front end which can be used for the trails. And I just like the overall stance of this truck. They did a great job. Great ground clearance, no ugly front valance on this truck. You have the recovery hooks. And that 2.7, I mean, it has great power. But I will admit, nearly $60,000 for this truck. It's very, very shocking, for sure. Now, on the side, you guys see the suspension. You have that double wishbone, independent, coilover setup, aluminum steer knuckle, fabric material for the liner, and then here are the tires. These are the Bridgestone Dueler ATs, and it's going to be a 275/60/20, which is 33 inches tall, 10.8 inches wide. So it's a pretty big tire. 20-inch wheels, 6 lug, 4-piston brakes on the front end. 2,679 pounds of capacity for these tires, which is about what you get on the half tons. You see the clearance lights on those fender flares. No lighting on the mirrors, however, but a little bit of chrome there, and on the door handles you have those fixed running boards. You cannot get power deployable ones on this. However, just saying that Tacoma does give that to you, but you don't get this really cool wide body stance, which I think is killer on this truck. More cameras. You have the blind spot alert right there, smart key system for the front doors, and this is the standard bed with the crew cab configuration, which is the only way this truck comes. By the way, you only can get 4-wheel drive on this truck too. And then here's where you're gonna fill up at. 21.5 gallon fuel tank. And one thing I like about this truck too is it does have a really nice leaf pack. So you guys will see here, you have 4 leaves, bottom one being a helper spring, E-coated frame, and then you have that liner here. Step built into the bumper. Now you don't have full LED tail lights, but I believe some of the lights in there are LED. Overall clean tailgate design. Now let's go back up front because I forgot to mention something this truck does not have. For nearly 60 grand, you do not have front parking sensors. However, you do have them in the rear, and the competition does give you front and rear in some cases. So on the highest trim level, I would like to see that from this truck in the future. Incandescent bulbs here. Here's your receiver hitch. Also, you do have a 342 rear with an automatic locker, and they do give you a full-size spare tire, not a matching wheel, however, but close enough. This will be assisted. Now you can get a utility wall back here. It's not cheap. This is like $1,700. You also have 400 watts of power in the bed. The storage is built into the tailgate. It is waterproof. You can see that right here. And spray in. That rear glass is manual, and then you have incandescent bulbs above. Did I mention the 400 watts of power? If I didn't, I mentioned it just now, and if I did, you got it twice. Let's go ahead and check out what's under the hood. Now, most of you guys have probably watched my videos where I've discussed they should put a V8 in the Canyon, and more specifically for this trim level and probably the AT4X, just simply because of the price point of these trucks. So I don't knock this engine because this 2.7 liter does have more torque compared to the 5.3 liter, right? It has 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Now, fully forged bottom end, and it has a 30% stiffer crankshaft for this engine as well. So overall, I would say that you're gonna really feel that power in this smaller truck. I'll show you guys the payload here in a second. But all that power does go through an 8-speed transmission, and as I said earlier, a 342 rear. Engine does take a 5W30 engine oil. So I mean, you know, most engines today are like 0W20, 30, and they're still using a 5W30 for this 2.7. So I mean, I would say that speaks to the durability of this engine because of the engine oil viscosity. Let's go ahead and check out the interior. We talked about this truck missing the front parking sensors, right? So just to finish off my list, a lot of hard plastics here and on the dash compared to the competitors in this trim level. You do not have power folding outside mirrors either. So those things may not be a big deal for some people, but at this price point, it would be nice to see those things. Now obviously you do have the seat memories, which is big for most people. You also have this really nice leather treatment to the door, has that diamond stitch leather, and Bose premium sound system is going to come standard. Also, you guys see that trailer brake there, satin finish on the dash. And then check out your seats. You do have a 10-way seat, perforated leather, and these are heated and ventilated too. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Let's go ahead and check out the passenger side. One thing to mention too, you can feel how porous this wood is. Now on this side you're gonna have an 8-way seat because you only lift up this part. You cannot adjust the front part of this cushion here. By the way, this is the teak. I had to look at the window sticker really quickly because I forgot. I love the design on the dash. You have more of that wood trimming here. It says Denali right there. More of that diamond stitch leather, and then here's that glove box. It does tell you here that you cannot use this truck for a slide-in camper too. So if you want to carry a bed camper, it's not possible with this truck here. Now out back, some of the advantages the truck has over like the Ford Ranger is you have a 60/40 rear seat, and there is some storage down below right there, you guys can see. And you also have air vents, which Ford Ranger does not give you. 2 USBs, cup holders right there. Also, you have this center armrest. Now obviously I said earlier this was not powered. This needs to be powered. So hopefully they change that for the refresh and a few of the things that I mentioned for this truck. Here's some of the animations for this truck. And I know that a lot of people are going to really complain about the pricing. And like I said, I'm not impressed with this pricing either. I think this truck should have either stayed the same or gone down in price personally. But look what you get. As I said earlier, you have your seat temperature controls, dual climate control. You have these large screens here. Also, as I said, on the outside, you have 360 camera view and a lot of great camera views here, so you can see the front wheels and tires. You see that top down. You can turn off the 360, and it's very easy to use this too. I would venture to say that I like GM and Toyota cameras the best for sure. No bed view camera, however. But if you are hooking up to a trailer, you do have that one too. And when you go to put the truck in park, it does set the electronic parking brake automatically for you so your truck doesn't roll. And I do like that too. Now here, most of your controls that used to be on the interior of the truck is now basically here. So traction control buttons, Your auto high beams are there, fog lights, and then you have a few more places here of things. Power window lockouts right there. Now just below the screen, you can put all the windows down together, and auto stop start, caution lights, lane keep assist, and then you have a single auxiliary, USBs, wireless charger for your phone. I love the fact that this truck has four-wheel drive auto, not available for the Tacoma. You have 4 drive modes, I believe. Actually, it comes on this screen. So you have normal, off-road, tow haul, and terrain. Electronic parking brake. And then you have this leather trimming here. It's like more of like a vinyl. Have that teak stitching. 12-volt power plugs in there. And there's a button for this too. It has that satin. Now just above, auto dimming mirror. And then this is your controls for the sunroof. No LED lights, however. They did update this last year, or for 2025. We're still in 2025, but they did update this for 2025 model year. It looks so much better. Also, you can see right here, heads-up display. And this screen, it only has one control right here for the menus, and that's it. Yeah, full navigation right there. Also, you have off-road pages like this. Love that screen. Has a clean screen and back. Adaptive cruise control is a part of this package too. Now, one of my favorite things is vehicle status. If you do plan on going off-road or towing a trailer, this menu is going to be helpful for you, because if you go to engine, you have your coolant temperature, your transmission fluid temperature, oil pressure, oil temperature right there. Your trip information is now here, so if you need to push it over to the other screen, you have that option. So you can hit remove from display. Actually, it's grayed out here for some reason. But you have this too, so you can add this to driver display. Hopefully you guys see that. And last thing I'll show you in this screen, if you want to go back quickly, just hit home. It brings you this screen here. If you go to off-road, it does show you your altitude. So we're at 4,332 feet right now. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 3,500 pounds. The rear is 3,600 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 6,250. And the wheels are 20 by 9 wide. All-in payload is 1,363 pounds. 35 psi all the way around for the tire pressure. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I am planning on doing an AT4X video for 2026 right after this one. Those did not receive a big price increase, but they did go up in price slightly. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Side-by-sides can cost about $50,000 too. I think this is a better option over that, in my opinion, especially if you're looking at a AT4X or AT4.